Welcome to blackandgold.us. This message regards the historical relationship of Black Americans, particularly to the Republican Party. The big picture of this looks at our relationship with the Republican Party as well as the Democratic Party. Both have sold out Black Americans. Black Republicans as well as Black Democrats have sold out their Black constituency. Under criticism, they'll probably claim, well, their constituency is the whole of Americans, which I would agree, but their particular role in these parties is to appeal to Black Americans and to use their gift of melanin to come across as being a part of the community. They have the accent, they have the culture. The one thing that they don't have that's most important is the allegiance. This all began back with Abraham Lincoln. And Abraham Lincoln lost a political race in 1858 to Stephen Douglas, where Stephen Douglas was a Democrat. Abraham Lincoln was a Republican. Lincoln was growing. Lincoln's campaign opposed slavery, whereas Douglas's campaign promoted slavery. And this is why ultimately Lincoln became the presidential candidate of the Republicans in 1860. And he became president in March of 1861. Sometime later, in August of 1861, under Lincoln, the Confiscation Act was passed. What the Confiscation Act did was authorize the seizure of property. In this case, including enslaved persons that was used by the Confederacy. And I'll read a little bit here. The act declared that slaves employed in quote insurrectionary service, close quote, e.g., construction, transport, or other work efforts could be confiscated by Union forces. No, this is not all enslaved people. This is only enslaved people that were being forced into service for the Confederates. While Lincoln and his mindset did not oppose slavery on moral grounds. Lincoln did explicitly oppose slavery until it became a matter of winning the war or losing the war. And I'll share with you here a quote from Lincoln that shares explicitly his thoughts on race, and I'll read it. It's a little bit much, but it's very telling. Quote, I will say then that I am not nor ever have been in favor of bringing about in any way the social and political equality of the white and Black races. That I am not nor ever have been in favor of making voters or jurors of Negroes, nor qualifying them to hold office, nor to intermarry with white people. I will say in addition to this that there is a physical difference between the white and Black races, which I believe will forever forbid the two races living together on terms of social and political equality. Social separation, that's perfectly fine. If that's how most people feel, that is perfectly okay in my opinion. But the political equality is of the utmost importance. The political inequality is what enabled, such as East St. Louis, Rosewood, things like that, where entire Black communities were destroyed. And the government, the political entities in those locations did nothing to prevent it from happening. In fact, a lot of times these things were extra legal. The people who were a part of the government and people who were in the law were also a part of these travesties. So I'll continue reading. And inasmuch as they cannot so live, while they do remain together, there must be a position of superior and inferior. And I, as much as any other man, am in favor of having the superior position assigned to the white race. So clearly, Lincoln didn't respect or acknowledge the humanity of Black people. And that becomes clear in this quote as well as his actions. Now, Lincoln has a reputation of being a liberator. Many people call him the greatest emancipator. However, those accolades should go to Horace Greeley. Greeley was a self-made man, rose up and through the ranks as a publisher and and he eventually established his own newspaper called the New York. And in August of 1862, Horace Greeley published an essay, Code 20 Millions is what it was called. He was a true abolitionist, respecting the humanity of the blacks, opposed slavery, and in this letter, in this passage that he wrote, that he published in his paper, he criticized Lincoln for being beholden to slave states that were a part of the Union. Here's a quote, one of his quotes from that passage. He said, "We complain that the Union cause has suffered and is still suffering immensely from mistaking deference to rebel slavery." So he saw something that Martin Luther King saw and stated more eloquently. King stated, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." This was the suggestion of what Greeley was getting at. Greeley was a true abolitionist, and like I said, all of the accolades that goes to Lincoln and that are going should go to Greeley, because it was Greeley who really pushed Lincoln and forced his hand, and I'm sure there were others as well. Now, here's Lincoln's perspective. The article in the New York Tribune was published in August, and just a few days later, Lincoln wrote a letter to Greeley, and here is one of the most telling quotes from that letter. He says, "My paramount object in this struggle is to save the Union, and it's not either to save or to destroy slavery." This is the beginning of blacks in America really being used as a tool for political expediency by the Republicans and eventually the Democrats. So it's important for us to really think about and to realize this game that the Republicans and the Democrats have been playing with Black Americans since 1869, when the 15th Amendment went into effect at the beginning of 1870. And since that time, the Republicans and the Democrats have been playing games with us. So what I would say, it's time for Black Americans to form their own political party. The Congressional Black Caucus, the sister girls in government, and the people who are Black one day and Indian the next, and all of these people, they are not doing anything for us as a people. We don't have true representation in government. If we are 15% of voters in America, and if we form our own political bloc, even a party that is dedicated to improving the Black experience. And the reason why I would say not a Black party, but a party for Black, is because for one, under American law, you're not allowed to have a race-based party, whereas one race is invited to the party. So that's one of the reasons why we should have a party dedicated to advocating for Blacks, but not necessarily only Blacks. And two, we are the true canaries in the coal mine. All of these people who come from Latin America, they come from Asia, India, even continental Africa, all of these places, when they come to America, they want to use the Blacks as a buffer. They come with that extreme racism. Anti-Black racism is global, and they come with that to America. For those of them who are not racist, or even if they are, who are capable of complex thought, and they will realize that the rights that they share, that they exploit, were achieved on the backs of Blacks, and that today, after they come for the Blacks, they will eventually come for them, which is what all of these foreigners are realizing in this current Trump administration. So again, to get back to the ultimate message of this video, beginning with Lincoln, going all the way to the Reconstruction era, the Compromise of 1876, the poll taxes of the violence against Blacks during the so-called nadir, the lowest point in race relations in America up until from about 1876 to the 1920s, 1930s, that era, many historical occurrences, and I'll make little short videos to get at all of these occurrences. But it's really time for self-respecting Black people who are willing to put themselves first and not acceptance by the outside party, not people in the Congressional Black Caucus or who have been selling out their true constituency. It's time for Black people in America to move beyond being a ping pong ball for the Democrats and Republicans and establish their own advocate. Thank you. Subscribe to this channel. This channel is the Black and Gold channel. It is the media arm of Black and Gold US website. Subscribe to the channel, visit the website.